we're making some killer pizza with my buddy, Matt Frampton. The dude's a stud, award-winning. Normally we have you on your grill making pizzas, but it's so darn cold out over there. Then you got a blizzard happening. You got like 4 inches of snow today, so you're not going outside. It's not happening.
Nope, we're gonna use a regular old conventional oven. This is a Detroit style pizza. It's got cup and char pepperoni, sausage, cool ricotta dollops after it's baked, and some basil. Wanted you to see what we're working towards here, and we'll build one. And we're also gonna do a classic Italian margherita pizza. And the key here is I hope everyone can lose the fear of cooking pizza at home. It's super easy. This is a Detroit pan. The intention of this is to get the cheese to melt down in the sides, and we're gonna end up with that caramelized crust around the outside edge that everybody covets in the Detroit pizza. So to do that, you've really gotta work on the edges and get your cheese all the way around. But with any Detroit pizza, the cheese goes on before the rest of your toppings. You don't want the dough to get soggy while it's cooking. If we do this right, after it bakes, you're gonna get what's called a cheese crown. And it's like the new Instagram thing that everybody's wanting to do with Detroit style pizza. You can use a round cake pan. You can use a cast iron skillet. You can use a Pyrex dish. All those things work. But really, to do a true Detroit style pizza, having a Detroit pan is kind of what you need.
Real quick, I pulled mine out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but here's mine sitting here. I pulled it out. It's on the skillet. It's just going to relax for about 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to start putting that toppings on. Right, Matt?
Okay, perfect. You're golden, man. What I'm doing here is I'm just taking sausage right out of the casing and putting it on the pizza. We do this for meatballs and stuff at home too. We just pinch them out, meatball size, and drop them in the sauce. Just kind of a poor man's way to use sausage instead of making your own. For the Detroit pizza, all we have on it before we make it is pepperoni, sausage, and then that cheese. I'm gonna put it in the oven right now. 10 minutes, and then we'll turn it.
And so the dough isn't too hard to make.
A lot of it is about the flour. And Jason mentioned he's doing a gluten-free. What I'm doing is a very high gluten pizza. What gluten does, it's actually a protein in the flour, and it creates this web when you knead it. We're gonna do that process here. So it's a cup of water, and then you add your yeast. That's a tablespoon of yeast. And what we're doing is mixing the yeast in warm water right now. If the yeast floats, then it's dead. If it actually mixes into the water, it's good and healthy, and that's what we want. And this is mixing in nicely. Got a tablespoon of sugar, stir it in, add the salt to the flour. It's 2 cups of flour. And then we're just gonna add all 2 cups of this flour into our mixing bowl and stir with the fork until it's well mixed. And once we get it well mixed, we're gonna knead it by hand for about 5 minutes. And you'll see it transform from being very sticky, lumpy dough to something soft and airy, which after this, I'm gonna stretch. I'll show you what it looks like after you let it rest. So the whole process, if you're to do this at home, is about 7 minutes of mixing and kneading. And then depending on the temperature of your house, you wanna let it rest at least 2 hours, up to 4.
All right, so I'm gonna jump in here real quick. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna stick right around the edge, like you said. I've got some Gouda and some mozzarella, and I'm just kind of going right around the edge, right? Put a little spinach in there, put some mozzarella on top of that, and then I had crushed up some tomatoes and squeezed those. Those are out of a can, and I don't want them too close to the edge, like you said. I'm gonna add the pancetta, because I've got some pancetta that we're gonna stick on top.
I wish I had some pancetta here, man. That sounds amazing.
I'm pretty sure this is gonna taste pretty darn good. It looks good so far. Fresh thyme I'm gonna stick on top. Well, here it goes. It's going back into my little happy house. 554 degrees.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, so it should be pretty.
Perfect.
So it looks like you're having a lot of fun there, just kneading.
It's super tender. It doesn't stick to my hands though. It's tacky, but it doesn't stick to my hands. And at first, it really, really sticks. And you have to have some discipline to not want to add more flour. I'm gonna split this in 2 equal portions. That was 2 dough balls. So to make a dough ball, you just turn it inside out. a few times. Twist the bottom, and you're looking for a nice round dough ball like that. If it starts round, it'll end round. That's its size after about 3 hours. It's probably triple. What we're gonna do is, in this case, flour is your friend. And this is something that takes a lot of practice. So the top, we're gonna turn it out. We put flour on the top. We're gonna flour the bottom. So I'm pushing out the air, and I'm gonna take my hand, curve just a little bit, and I'm gonna push and turn, push, turn, push, turn, push, and just do that until all of a sudden I've opened up this to about a 14-inch pizza, like so. And you can, if it's easier for you, get it on your knuckles. What you just don't want to do is stab it with a finger, but it should be pretty stretchy and tough, and it shouldn't tear on you as long as you're sticking to that, about that size right there. Cool? And then it just goes on a pizza peel. We're making a classic margarita, which is a San Marzano based tomato, but you can use any tomato sauce. This is the simplest pizza ever. I have a fair amount of sauce on there. Other people do it differently. I put the basil down and then protect it with the mozzarella. Whole milk fresh mozzarella, which I'm just gonna pinch off. A little olive oil and a little salt. That will come out looking pretty traditional, even though it's in a basic oven and not a wood-fired oven. It'll be about 8 minutes at the highest our oven can go. All right, this Detroit pizza, the toughest part, which you're gonna do here in a minute with yours, right, is get it out of the pan. A little spatula or something, get around the edge. For these square ones, a little more difficult, but.
That's a little baby spatula.
So see that edge? That's what the cheese does and makes it that caramelized.
Oh, man.
That crown, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a party right there. All right, so I got mine. I pulled mine out. Popped right out, buddy.
Dude, look at that cheese crown.
Look at the crust on this.
Okay, so that is a Detroit pizza with gluten. You know, years ago, that was impossible with gluten free. And now we're gonna see what yours looks like.
I've got my lovely, beautiful wife here. She's throwing some Parmesan on it now. You're right, the crust is amazing, man. This is like so thick, but crunchy because the cheese melted right down along the side and the back.
Check this out though, real quick.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Are you for real, man?
For real, man. That's a real pizza, man. You can eat it.
Man. You mean like a real pizza? I think I'm just gonna slice it straight across. Yeah, that is crunchy. We got a little.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let my kid eat it and see what he thinks first.
I'm starving.
Jason, quick question. Have you ever made that before?
I have never made that in my entire life ever.
You nailed it, dude.
This look at this crust, man. I'm not kidding. This crust is absolutely amazing.
That's the standard sort of, you know, fake Neapolitan because we did it in the oven.
Man.
Dude.
Rock star right there, buddy. That was rock star.
Cheers.
Cheers.